The mind of God is growing. And as it grows, like the growth of any plant or whatever, it is maturing. It is going toward creating a fruitage of some sort. And what is the fruitage of God? The life of God. The life of God, imagine it to be a huge, beautiful tree of some sort, an oak tree, for instance, or a pecan tree, or a peach tree, or a pear tree, or any whatever's your favorite. Okay, so the tree of God is this tree that's growing, and mankind is a step in that tree, one of the stages in that tree. Well, what stage is it? If you had to say, what is mankind? Is mankind the trunk of the tree? Is mankind the leaves on the tree? Is mankind the roots on the tree? Is mankind the sap going through the tree? What is mankind in relation to the tree, if God is a tree? I would say mankind is the acorns. The acorns, the fruitage, the pears, the peaches, the bananas, Think of mankind like telephones. We're telephones that have the ability to walk around. And who owns the phone? Who's on the other end of the line? It's God. God himself. It's a big party line. Everybody's on it, okay? But God hears everybody clearly. And he understands every conversation. And he's taken every conversation into account. And then he comes to a conclusion. And that conclusion is now. Or I should say the next now. In other words, that's where we're heading. His conclusions as he gets them. This infinite mind of the all comes to the conclusion in connecting with all the conversations that he's having with all his telephones, his humans, from all the data they're picking up and the conclusions that they're coming to. And as all that's happening, he's coming to the next conclusion. And that next conclusion is the next now. In other words, where does this person want to go? Where am I heading with this? Where am I heading with that? And that's what's happening. Truth is the visual field because truth gives you a picture of what you're going to get, the symbol. And of course, it's the meaning behind, it's the intent. When Eve created the devil in her mind, or once, I should say, she did that, and then Adam went along with it. So they were in unison in this belief. And then, of course, God comes along, Jehovah comes along looking for them, and he finds this out, this belief that they adopted. He couldn't force them to not believe that anymore. He had to allow them to believe that because that's their path. And think of life as a series of highways, and you pick the highways you want to drive down, for your life. And some of the highways are real common ones, the bigger ones, the interstates, and then some highways are less common, individual little roads. And the thought of a highway is it takes time to get down that road. In other words, the life experience, takes some of your essence. I mean, you have to commit essence to it for some extended period in order to get the true meaning of it. To bring it down to earth, like to learn to play a musical instrument. I mean, the person that's sitting there in front of you playing just as beautifully as can be and maybe singing too, hundreds of hours went into that. I mean, you're looking at someone that has committed themselves to learning to do that. Because again, think of this as a tree. So this tree is producing acorns. Humans are the acorns. The acorns are in all different stages of growth and maturity. Hey, let's even take it to another step. Okay, in this tree, there's a lot of different limbs, and there's birds that live on the limbs of this tree. And different types of birds, some blue jays, some blackbirds, some mockingbirds, some cardinals, some sparrows, all kinds of birds. They all love each other, man. They all work together because they're all eating bugs, and there's plenty of bugs, And we can go on the bug level if you want, but let's stick on the bird level for now. And of course, a bee is a bug, so I'd go to the bee is what I would go to first, or an ant, So, but anyway, so the birds, all of these birds or birds, all in that bird family, but at the same time they have different. They're in different species, or they different. They're different. They have different colors and so forth and so on, and they become, have a certain type of the way they live. They all function in a little fit into the system in different ways. But they're all birds. So humans are sort of like that too. They have all kinds of different temperaments and colors and, so forth and so on. All have little fits and little niches in the system. But they're all humans. So on that level, the mind of God works through all humans or all birds or all acorns, on the tree. Again, levels of consciousness. The higher in the conscience level, like with the human, there's more going on. On the bird level, there's a little less going on. And then on the acorn level, there's less consciousness going on. And it's more subconscious. Like our body functions subconsciously. We don't think about how to breathe all the time. We can think about breathing, but it's not necessary. We can think about other things and breathe naturally, automatically. Our heart beating, our blood, doing its thing, on the cellular level. We don't think about that. New cells being built, In other words, in a tree, that's more prevalent. In a bird, it has more conscious versus the subconscious. The subconscious is still functioning, but more conscious is available. And then on our level, the same thing, even more consciousness. And that consciousness is available. We have free will as we, utilizing our free will, desire to develop that consciousness. Because if we don't want to develop that consciousness, we're not. Just like if we want to become a farmer and we go out and start working on a farm and learning all the stuff about farming and so forth, then it's because that's what we've committed to. That's what we wanted to learn. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you want to be a farmer, they will need farmers forever. So being a good farmer is a wonderful, good thing. Being a good farmer that's a good husband is even a better thing. And them having family and children and so on and so on, that's all wonderful stuff. And of course there's farmers in every sort of society, in different ways. It's just you adapting to the world around you. Peace profound.